Come out to the bar.
Hello YouTube, cheers and welcome to The Basement. My name is Bruce Lively.
Once again, I'm D-Boy Slim.
And The Basement Debates is the first daily hip-hop debate show. From Tuesday through Friday, we tackle the most intriguing topics in hip-hop culture and the world around it. So welcome back, Basement family, and today is going to be a quick, easy discussion, debate, whatever you want to call it, because King Yella going on the gram once again, making a fool of himself, crying about having to bail himself out, accusing Migos.
Yeah, but this time it's serious accusation. You don't just you don't accuse anybody of snitching if that ain't official. Like, to me, when somebody does that, you're just as bad as a snitch. If you call somebody a snitch and you don't really mean that, or you playing, or you trying to just get hype, what they call like clout chasing and all of that, like, nah, that's a no-no in my book. Like, you just as bad as a rat. Like,
quite frankly, this concludes a long line of Chicago so-called gangsters getting clowned on the gram.
I would agree with you, Bruce. It kind of takes away from validity of the dudes that really get busy and really out there in the streets doing something and you know, keeping tradition alive out there in Chi-Town as far as that whole gangster thing is concerned. So,
are Chicago's gangsters getting exposed? Are they losing respect? Today's question: are Chicago gangsters losing street credibility? I never thought I'd say it. You know I'm from the Chi. Let's get to the question, man. With that being said, let go.
Where do we start with this guy?
Look, man. First of all,
have you ever heard a song from him?
I was looking it up, and he does have a song out.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I never checked for none of his.
Only because of the show.
I never heard none of it.
You know, I do my research. I looked it up. He does have a song. I forgot it. I mean, the one that I saw, I probably could stand 30 seconds of it because I didn't like his face. But you know why I'm gonna start this one. Bump that. You're supposed to start. I'm starting this one, man. They're not losing credibility. These musicians and these fake rappers are losing credibility. First, you talk about Spike Lee like he's a gangster. What's that guy's name?
King Louis.
And then King Yella, you run up on 600 Breezy, and he stands there like a man with Chanel bags in his hands, and looks you down, and you don't do nothing, and then you get back to the gram, and you show all your guns and say, "Don't test me, don't test you." You was right there with him, and you waited till you got home to bust the guns in your house. He looked at you, and I think he had his girl with him. And he was holding her bags. And he looked at you like, what are you gonna do now? And all you did was talk and go home. And then show your gun on the gram. They're not losing credibility because they're not the gangsters. Those are the musicians. These are the guys having fun on Instagram, tattooing their face for no reason. How all y'all get these names King? How you get these names King? I need to know.
We need answers.
King used to mean something, and if it means what I think it means, that is disgusting and unbelievable to me. That people are looking up to you or put you in a position over any set, anywhere, with this type of foolishness and crap that you go with. How you a king and nobody else can make your bail for you?
Damn!
How you name King and you're mad because, look at this, watch this.
12 racks.
Shit crazy, they held me in this bitch. To the Migos left, just had to bond out. $12,000 bond. Period, I don't give a fuck who you is, nigga. You ain't put a penny up, nigga. funding for me to get out of jail. Don't get the call and you see me on live, nigga. Fuck you talking about, nigga. Just bonded out 12 racks, nigga. Fuck.
You kidding me?
12 racks, and there's nobody in your set, King Yella, that can make the bail for you?
These the gangsters, these the kings of the set.
You named yourself that. That wasn't passed down to you, family. That wasn't given to you on any accord or any rep. You named yourself that, and you had your own little high school crew that ran with you and looked up to you because you had the most bluster. When you run up on real gangsters, they look at you with bags in their hand and laugh. So you know why the credibility is not lost, despite what happened with Tekashi, despite 600 Breezy looking down on King Yella, despite King, whatever his stupid name is, another fake king, laughing at Spike Lee and saying he's gonna kill him. Despite all of that, this year alone, there has been 218 homicides and the year's only halfway done in Chicago. You don't see them on the gram. That's how you know that street credibility is not lost. This music industry got y'all effed up. These guys are not the kings of anything. They're the king of the gram. They're the king of trolling. You sold a couple packs. You think you can rap. You found the studio, and then you started going on the gram to get your buzz. Nobody likes your songs, and the ones that I know they don't play like you think they do out there. I know they don't. I still got a few people out there. I've never heard your name, except for when you're doing something stupid. Second of all, the real gangsters, the real people that's surviving these 218 homicides or dying in them, they're putting in work on the street, not the gram. I'm not a fan of homicide. I don't want it to happen, but I do know one thing, that real killers don't act like that. So that's why we don't see them. For however many times you can pull this up, don't think that that's the real gangsters, because if you know it 10 times, there's still 208 that you don't see. If you've seen it 20 times, there's still 190 something, 92, 98 people that you don't see on the gram because they're working. So I want to build the community. If you're gonna be a rapper and you're gonna try to get out of this thing, don't do it by calling yourself king and acting like a peon, acting like a plebeian. That's what's happening. They're not losing street cred. You're losing credibility for yourself. Chicago Gangstas is still out there and it's still happening, and it's horrible. Look at Vic Mensa if you want to know. That's who you need to look at. Someone who can be gangster and still try to uplift himself in the community. Gangsters used to actually do that. You fight when you have to. Resources are small. There's no more schooling, thanks to the mayor out there that has closed down all the schools. So there's no schools. Thanks to the mayor who's so corrupt, there's no more jobs. We saw last year when I showed you the clip, they're throwing the guns out there, even though they're supposed to be illegal. They're buying them from Indiana and throwing them in the back alley so everybody can pick them up for free. Nah. You look stupid yourself. You're not losing street cred for Chicago. Now let me see how you debate that. I understand it's gonna be easy to say that, but I need y'all to look at the real gangsters. Go look at the numbers.
Here's what I have to say. I disagree.
Let me get my drink ready, man, because I can already tell.
Here's the thing. This is not just a Chicago problem and just a Chicago gang that has lost and is losing credibility. This is a nationwide thing in which the culture of gang banging, the codes and morale that gang banging was created upon and based upon has lost its value collectively. And that's just not for gangs and all its subsets that are in Chicago, but if you look at what's going on in LA, where Bloods bang against Bloods now, Crips bang against Crips now, and all the different Crip sets that have derived from the 80s to now, like, I'm quite sure the police, you, and the people, a lot of the gangsters in LA probably can't keep up with all of the different sets that exist now. And the same problem is going on in Chicago. I say all of this to say what once was, or what being a gangster was about. And if any gangster that I've ever spoken with, or any gang member I've ever spoken with, official, the first distinction they usually make to me is that it's an organization.
Facts.
Well, it's plain to see where you know what's ironic about that, and which I just said, is the root word of organization is organized. What's plain to see, and what's evident to see without me actually being inside of a gang or inside of that culture in Chicago, is that it's anything but organized. They jacked the term and the slogan savage. Chirac savages. This is what they subscribe to. This is the type of culture and wave that's going on. You're savage, which means there's no organization. There's nothing organized about that. You're moving as a savage. As it pertains to King Yella, there's a disconnect in Chicago. When Bruce speaks about the rappers that come out of Chicago and preach this gang culture, or just with the rah-rah, first of all, with somebody like King Yella, his antics far outweigh and overshadow his music. His music is not that good. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all. His music is not that good, and so I think he tries to compensate with the rah-rah, which a lot of rappers and rap artists tend to do. And depending on which city you come from, you think that people are jacking that, people are convinced by this. We're not. Because as Bruce stated, you do have Vic Menses who can speak the language and is authentic and knows how to rap, actually. I say there's a disconnect because there are real gangsters that still exist in Chicago, and let's get this understood. Every rapper is not a gangster, every gangster is not a rapper. Bruce mentioned the shootings that occur in Chicago and equated that with the guys who are doing the shootings and are getting shot or doing the shootings are not the guys who we see rapping. I disagree with that. You do see shootings. If you YouTube now Chicago shootings, I'm not sure the percentage wise, but you'll see a few and a good number of them, and which is odd. You know, New York and Cali, you probably see the same thing. Actually caught on footage, I guess, because we're in the age where cell phones and camera phones, everything gets recorded, whether you see it or not, whether you knew it or not. You will see a large number of shootings actually recorded. But I say that to say, everybody doing the shooting's not a gangster. So let's not get that misunderstood. Everybody who shot their gun this year, everybody who killed somebody, everybody who's in prison for a shooting was not a gangster. You know, you could be a scared guy and shoot somebody. You can be a guy defending your house and shoot somebody. You can be a guy holding when you're getting robbed and shoot somebody. You can be a guy involved in beef with a gang and shoot somebody. So different strokes for different folks. So let's not get that misunderstood like every guy who did a shooting is a real gangster out of Chicago. No, that's not the case. But like I said, I think you are seeing the new age of the Chirac savages with this, exactly what they're promoting. What you see these young dudes, the Chief Keefs, the Lil Reeses, the little King Louis, exactly what you see these younger guys promoting as far as savagery and savage. You're seeing that. You like they're allowing, they want you to see and be convinced that these guys are savages that will kill you at any moment. They have friends, and this I will say this. it's a true representation of Chicago to the extent of if you go inside of any one of their circles, whether it be Chief Keef, King Yella, or whoever these other guys are in Chicago, they will tell you that they did have a homie that got killed last year, or they was involved in it. We seen King Yella shot on camera. Like how, like, I mean, really, like how odd is that? Like this
when you get shot on camera, you don't come back out with a dashiki and go, I was trying to protest for Black Lives Matter. That's not gangster.
This is the level of violence.
Own up to what you, that's what I'm saying.
This is the level of violence that, you know, is going on in Chicago. Like you can be in the middle of shooting your video or whatever and not, I think if you give that much energy, you get that much energy back. But
gun violence is prevalent in America.
It's prevalent in Chicago.
I'll take your point that it's a nationwide deal. Number one, the videotaping and the advancements of our phones and videotape and internet and all this stuff has definitely clouded the entire culture, that especially the young culture. So
but
that
these
goes
dudes is lost.
That goes for gangsters and non-gangsters.
These dudes is lost. So whether it's Chief Keef talking about he's gonna blow, these dudes is lost. And that's what's being
there's
lost
another side
in the whole thing. These bees are misguided. But these are the guys that are running around talking about these city blocks in Chicago and calling themselves gangbangers.
I take your point. And I raise you, if these guys are the real gangsters naming themselves kings, I'm telling you that right now. Unless you prove me, you gotta prove me. I need paperwork, I need signatures. You need to prove me wrong that you didn't just name yourself king. But fine, who am I, right?
Guys naming their own sets. Like,
they name your own set, you name yourself king, that's fine, no big deal. So, then I raise you the fact that for every one of these internet tattooed face, my friend died, so that makes me gangster, wannabe rappers, there's a 600 Breezy that you step to and that doesn't back down. For every one of these fake rappers, there is a Vic Mensa that also is gangster.
That's a fact.
That's also gangster and doesn't. So all the question is, does Chicago gangsters losing credibility? No. Those few people are losing credibility for themselves, just like they are in LA, just like they are in New York, just like they are in Savannah, Georgia, just like they are in North Carolina.
Because for every Tekashi, you still have a Casanova.
Facts. That's all I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't make Tekashi or King Yella any less of gang members. That's just what's going on right now. It doesn't make them any less of gang members.
What do you guys think? Tell me, are we wrong? Are we right? Listen, don't be fooled. The last live show we're doing for this month will be tomorrow, Thursday. You're seeing this on Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, 8 o'clock. Good for you?
That's good.
8 o'clock. We're going to do the last live show. BG Method, I want to see you there. I've been waiting for you. Everybody else who always comes, you guys know what it is. Take this to heart. Go to Patreon. We're doing the live show. We're taking questions. We're doing big time debates. We're going to debate us live on everything you hear on this show, and no holds bars. No shout outs today, but tomorrow, get ready. Go become a patron.
Keep tuning in. We got more dope shows coming. Keep leaving those comments. We appreciate all the love out there. We out of here.
Peace.